Hey, it's Andretti T here, and I want to talk about Oshi no Ko. It's a pretty interesting ongoing manga that I'm currently into. The title roughly translates to Favorite Girl or My Idol's Child. This manga has a really innocent title where you don't really expect anything. So, naturally, you just drop your guard. Then it hits you like a truck. Normally this isn't something that I would pick up, but for some reason I just couldn't look away. Just look at that cover. I have no idea what it's about, but there's a cute girl. Then the manga started winning awards and popping up here and there, so I decided to bite the bullet and pick it up. I really thought that I got baited into reading an idol manga, but then the prologue ended. I really do find Oshi no Ko fascinating, so I'll probably end up making a few more videos on it. I'll talk about the prologue here, then talk about I in another one, and then my favorite scene in the manga so far. So before any spoilers come out, this story is about idol culture and the realities of the entertainment industry. If that's interesting, pick it up. It only takes the first chapter to pull you in anyways, so let's just get to it. The first volume of Oshi no Ko is a little bit special compared to the rest of the story. These events already happened, and at the beginning of each chapter, we see a person being interviewed. It's a different person every time, and it's only a single page, but when the dots finally connect, it's too late. The manga opens up with a question. Have you ever wondered what it would have been like if you were born as the child of a celebrity? If you had the right connections and looks from the start? This story is a work of fiction. Or rather, this world, for the most part, is fiction. Just like any good story, some parts are fabricated, some parts are exaggerated, and some parts are just tucked away. Even though it's obvious that it can't be true, does that matter? Being a fan means wanting your idol to be a good liar. And in the entertainment world, lying is your weapon. The main character of this story is Goro, a doctor/die-hard I-Chan fan. He's introduced to us while screaming about his idol's rise to stardom in the room of a patient. It's already pretty weird that a grown adult is practically worshipping a 6-year-old idol. But for an adult to start crying because I-Chan went on break just makes this a bit creepy. Luckily, there's a tragic backstory that justifies this. We go back in time and see him during his residency. While Goro was trying to slack off, he one day found a patient that would change his life. The patient's name was Serena, and she loved idols, her favorite one being I-Chan. They were both the same age, but I-Chan was everything Serena wanted to be. So, in the next life, she wanted a face just like hers. Then Serena asks Goro a question. Have you ever wondered what it'd be like being born to a celebrity if you had the connections and looks right from the start? Nope. So you really don't have any dreams, huh? You're cute too, Miss Serena. There's no need for you to reincarnate. You can become an idol once you get discharged from here. I'll be your fan. Really? Serena then confesses to Goro, but he refuses because of social death. He says he'll think about it once she reaches legal age, but that doesn't really help his case. It's kinda sad that Serena knew she wasn't going to make it to 16. 16, huh? Sensei, you're mean. I'd say it's a reasonable plan. Anaplastic astrocytoma, she was only 12 at the time. If she was still alive right now, she would have been 16, just like I. Perhaps I keep seeing Miss Serena in the idol she loved and looked up to. I want to watch over the one who walks the path she wanted to walk. I see. In the end, you're a disgusting pervert. Hey, were you listening? I would say that was a pretty touching episode. That addiction of yours seems pretty lively. Aren't you just using Miss Serena to justify your lust? Don't be stupid. I swear upon Miss Serena that my feelings are incredibly pure. But if that girl I asked you out, you'd say yes, right? Alright, lunch break's over. Time to get back to work. What was that, Sensei? What happened to swearing upon Miss Serena? And that's his backstory. Does it justify his obsession with I-Chan? He gets introduced to I-Chan through Serena, a dying patient who was the same age as her. The patient falls in love with the doctor, but then she dies at the age of 12. He sees Serena living through I-Chan, who she admired so much, and pretty much connected the two in his head. And that sums up his obsession with I-Chan. No matter how pretty you make the reason, it doesn't change the fact that dude's a fucking lolicon. When Goro gets off his break, all he can think of is Ai-chan. He tries his hardest to stay a professional, but things don't go according to plan. In front of his patient, he starts learning about her, and things start to line up. Her story is starting to sound a lot like a certain idol, and what seals the deal is her taking off her hat. She never reveals her identity, but Goro, being a senior fan, can deduce it. His emotions start getting out of control, but he manages to leave the room before breaking character. His patient is Ai-chan, and she's pregnant. Nobody knows who the father is, cause that's a secret. All we do know is that this pregnancy is a big old no-no. If this gets exposed, her career is gone, and the company's dead. But none of that matters to Ai. What she does care about, though, is that she's going to have twins. She asks Goro about his opinion, and all he can say, as a doctor, is that she should carefully consider her choice. But as a fan, he's conflicted. So he heads to the roof to think things out. Even if you have a man you like, I would still continue to support you. But if you had a child, would you be able to continue flying as high? Fans tend to be very selfish. Don't you think so too, Miss Serena? Goro does all this while looking at a picture of Miss Serena. He's just thinking how far he's willing to go as a fan. While he's sorting out his thoughts, he gets interrupted as the door opens. Oh, it's Sensei. Miss Hoshino, the night breeze is not good for your health. I'm wearing a couple layers, so I'm okay. I decided to come here because my boss recommended the place, but it's so nice. Even in the afternoon I could see the stars so clearly. Tokyo isn't like this at all. There's a bit of hesitation in Goro as his inner fan starts leaking out. Did you come all the way out here from Tokyo because you're afraid of the public taking notice? Huh, have I talked about my job at all? I had a patient a while back who was your fan. Ah, shoot, I thought it'd be okay here since even the doctor's old grandpas. I guess you can't hide auras. She's confident, that's cute. Are you going to quit being an idol? Huh? I won't quit, but I don't have a family, so I've always wanted one. The ones in my tummy, they're twins, right? When I have them, I'm sure they'll be noisy, and we'll become a very lively family. I'll give birth to my kids, and I'll continue being an idol. You mean, yep, it won't be public. Idols are ideals, creatures that shine with the magic called lies. A lie is an exceptional form of love. A true top-notch idol can hide a child or two, telling lie after lie, no matter how tough life may get. On the stage, we sing like the happiest of people. That's what it means to be an idol. But still, I want my happiness to be something that's true. Nobody really realizes this, but we have emotions in our life too. Being happy as a mother, or being happy as an idol. Normally, you only get to pick one. But I want both. Hoshino Ai is very greedy. After talking with Ai for a bit, Goro finally finds his answer. This idol called Ai was a lot more daring than I expected. She was strong, and shined brightly like the first star in the evening. I've made up my mind. Huh? My thoughts as a doctor and my opinion as a fan have finally come together. Hoshino Ai, I'll make sure you safely deliver 2 healthy kids. If you say that's your happiness, I will follow through. Because you are a hopeless idol. And as a fan, I'm your hopeless slave. And that pretty much wraps up Goro's little dilemma here. He's gonna stop hesitating and fully support Ai. There's just a small little problem with that though. This type of relationship is not healthy. I get it, everyone wants to meet their idol. But some lines shouldn't be crossed. Remember, I came here to the middle of nowhere to be a patient, and their relationship should just stay patient and doctor. But it turns out Goro's a super fan and decides to fully support Ai, but as time goes on, you can see his thoughts slowly start to distort. As time starts to fly right by us, we see bits and pieces of Ai's pregnancy. Goro's giving sound advice, well, Ai's just being Ai. There's not much to really say there. I just wanted to have a picture of Ai in this. While this montage is going on, we do get to see how Goro thinks about the situation. Maybe he became a doctor for this exact moment. With utmost safety, I will make sure they are delivered. I will be the one to protect your family. Isn't Goro getting a little too involved? He had mixed feelings, but he never showed it. It's kind of spooky seeing how Goro is fully aware that he's being pulled along with Ai and he just accepts it. Lying is a form of love. If you do end up reading to the end of the prologue, that phrase gets really tragic. Goro's still a pretty sane person, so he knows this will eventually end. He's going to lose his connection to Ai, and they're going to go back to being just a fan and idol. And with everything he's gone through, he can fully support Ai's happiness. If only things were that simple. It's Ai's due date, and Goro's job is practically done. He actually left the hospital smiling, but then he gets questioned by a hooded stranger. The man asks Goro if he was the doctor in charge of Oshi no Ai. Goro hesitates to answer because that is a question with a bunch of red flags. He had a moment of silence, but he gave the worst possible answer with it. He pretty much confirmed Ai's location to a hooded stranger, which was supposed to be a secret. The stranger pretty much ignored all of Goro's questions and just bolted. But do you know what Goro did? Before I give an answer, just reminder that he's just a doctor. We've never seen him exercise in his life, and he's a fan of idols. Dude's supposed to be smart, but he decides to chase after the hooded stranger at night into a dark forest. He could have told anyone anything, and that would have been the perfectly rational thing to do, but he doesn't because this involves Ai. He manages to run all the way to a mountain trail, but he loses the stranger. Goro uses his phone as a flashlight to search for the man, but he pops up right behind him. Then the panels go black and all we hear is Goro. Gee, that scared me. My mind went blank so suddenly. I think I might have tripped. My phone. Did I go into labor? Where's my phone? It's so dark. I can't see. What's worse, my body won't move. I need to hurry. I promised her that I would safely deliver her children. I need to get up to help her. And there Goro is, slowly bleeding out. While he's dying, he thinks back to that question Serena asked him before she died. Have you ever wondered what it'd be like being born to a celebrity? If you had the connections and looks right from the start. Goro never took that question seriously. I mean, why would he? That's pretty crazy, isn't it? But his final thoughts were, if I were to die right now, wouldn't I have a chance to be their child? And that brings us to the final page of this chapter. It turns out that I gave birth to twins, and one of them just happens to be Goro. And there you have it, the first chapter of Oshi no Ko. I was sold, so I am kinda caught up. I want people to actually read the story, so I'll just lightly touch on the rest of the story. The story has an interesting concept where Ai's biggest fans, Goro and Serena, become her twins. That might be a small spoiler, but it's in the first few chapters anyways, and this is the prologue after all. Anyways, this is just the best possible seed to see Ai's rise to stardom. And for a majority of the prologue, that's what we get. This is what you call a trap, and it gets you really invested. Remember how I said I got baited early on in the story? This is what I meant, because the tone changes after you finish the prologue, and you just kind of want to find out who the hell did this. Okay, I'm just getting ahead of myself right now, so let's just talk about the slice of life. Ai's Ai, she's just our underdog, idol, rise to stardom character, you know? I really do like this character, so I'll talk about it in another video, but she's pretty much our window to the entertainment industry. We get to see all the highs, lows, and biases of being an idol. And then we got babies, but not really. These are reincarnees, and they pretty much give some comic relief to the pretty depressing part of the entertainment industry. Like how the manager's wife tried to expose Ai's twins, but the babies convinced her otherwise. It's a pretty traumatic event made comedic. You kind of feel bad for Ai that she doesn't get to actually have real kids, but those twins actually helped accelerate her career, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, I never mentioned their names, did I? Uh, Aqua is Goro and Serena is Ruby. So there's a bunch of cool other hijinks like Aqua becoming an actor and all that kind of stuff, but that's all there to distract you. Like, I wanted to believe that this was going to be a slice of life, but wasn't it going a bit too fast? It took her 7 chapters to reach Tokyo Dome status, and just remember, she was just on hiatus. The book tells us that it's pretty rough being an idol in this industry, but I just somehow has the power to overcome everything. It feels like more of a movie or a documentary than an actual person living their life, you know? Like, there's an emphasis to how amazing Ai's ability to draw attention is. And they show that as a result of how hard she worked and how flawed she is as a person. Like in chapter 3, where she notices that a lot of people are saying that her smile doesn't look genuine. We get to see her thought process in this matter. She worked so hard to make a smile that everyone would have liked. And that just leads her to remind herself that she is full of lies. But then she notices her kids are super adorable and shit, and she actually genuinely smiles for once. Once she knows what the people wanted, she can now try that smile instead. Throughout the prologue, we see moments like this, and it just makes her seem so human. The story makes you want to root for her, and then when she finally makes it big, it all gets taken away. Actually reading it for yourself, those last 2 chapters, makes this prologue so good. The interviews at the beginning of each chapter just prove how much I matter to the world, and it kind of pulls the reader in to figure out who the hell killed her. From what was originally supposed to be a nice little story, it turns into a hunt for a killer, and Goro, or Aqua in this case, is out for blood. Just the last fucking moments of Ai's life and the difference between Aqua and Ruby's experience with it set up how they see the entertainment industry and what is their purpose in life, I guess. Anyways, that's it for me. I mean, I've been repeating the same thing for a while now, so you must be sick of it. If someone picks up this book for me, I mean, that's great. I mean, I want to talk about this story because no one I know read it. Depending on how the current arc ends, will determine my motivation to create the next video, I guess. But I'm a horrible procrastinator, and that's it. See ya. Thanks. Like, comment, subscribe, and whatever. Peace. Goddamn, the way they set up her death is so fucking trope-like, man. She's getting closer to both her kids, and then when she's about to hit her peak, she just dies. Why did it fucking hit so hard? God damn.